Everyone, Dave Barnum here at Mason Hall in Fredonia, New York, where my wife and I and Kyle Tupper, as his fiance, and also her future mother-in-law, Jana, are attending Esther's degree for her master's degree in conducting. And she has a recital here today, so we're really excited about that. But I wanted to share another talk to the listeners out there with regards to my 53 Bridges series. And the title of this talk today is Mom's Last and Lasting Words. And of course, many of you know that I had the privilege of just burying my dearly departed mother-in-law, Selma devenneys, this past week in the East End of Toronto, in Whitby, to be more specific. But I shared some thoughts from Mom's heart to all of ours at that celebration of her life, and I want to share them with you, the listeners, on my 53 Bridges series. First of all, Mom would say if the Almighty loves us, and He does, then we need to love being in Him and Him being in us, and we need to love all of Him and we need to love all of our own lives. The best relationships, folks, are not 50-50. They're 100% on both parties' parts. You push all your chips into the middle of the table and you bet the farm on your friendship, on your love, on your fidelity together, on your intimacy together, whatever your relationship is, a mom to a daughter, a father to a son, a husband to a wife, a friend to a friend. Best relationships are always everybody's all in. So I think Selma would say this, that if you're going to live from above, put your heart in there, put your desires in there, put your hope, put your aspirations, put your dreams, put your idealism, throw it all into the mix, and don't hold anything back. She'd also say this, that if we're going to live from above, we need to do it with a smile on our face. I told a lot of jokes at Jim and Selma devenneys' table, breaking bread with them throughout the years. And of course, the good Irishman, he'd always punctuate every one of my jokes and my punchlines with a hearty Irish laugh. He'd even laugh before the punchline arrived. And you know what? I think a lot of times he laughed even if he didn't quite get the joke. But I'd look over at my dear mother-in-law, and she'd be much more subtle and more quiet, but she'd always have a good chuckle. She'd always have a smirk on her face. My mom, she was really good-natured, and she was mischievous. Reminds me of the third person of the Trinity. We have to have a mischievousness about this life, folks. If we're going to live from up above, we need to have a hop in our step, we need to have a smirk on our face, and we need to have a gleam in our eye. And Selma devenneys was all of that. And she'd finally say this, that we might not be better than the next guy as a family. We might not be better than the next family. But you know what, folks? Each one of us in our home and in our lives, and I say this to you and your family, you're just as good as the next guy. You can do the job just as well. And when you have all of eternity behind you, you have all of heaven on your side, when all of above is applauding you and cheering you on, you need to go forth with confidence. You need to live all out. You need to live happy. Get the most out of life, Mom would say. Get the most joy out of life. And don't take a back seat to anyone. So Mom, thank you for those words. Thank you for those thoughts. Thank you that you lived by each one of those adages. And we love you and we miss you. And we know that each one of us have somebody up there cheering us on the front row of the grandstands of eternity, and between this thin veil and of this life and that one to come. We know you've got our backs, Mom. And so to all those listeners out there on 53 Bridges, put it all in the middle. Live with a joy, live with a happiness, live with a smile, live all out. Don't take a back seat to anybody. With you, your family, and your friends, have some confidence and go for it. And until the next time I see you and the next time we speak, keep your hearts and souls sweet. And S.C. Barnum, you conduct the life right out of this orchestra today. We love you. And Mom, we love you. And I love all my listeners out there. Have a great day. Bye-bye from Fredonia, New York.